From the Heartland Business and Event Center nestled in vibrant downtown Jesup, Iowa, welcome to the Bohemian Network alongside producer Blake Tempus, co-host Dale Rueber, guest co-host over there John Klotzbach behind the camera. I'm Jim Gillespie. This is the news for the 4th of May, 2026.
Wow.
The days go by. A sponsor's been with us since the birth of the C. Brown Arts Center. It is Derek's Repair, located in Jesup, Iowa. Contact Derek Marty for your car repair needs. I see Derek won the heavyweight arm wrestling championship over in Waterloo a couple weeks ago, and he got into the super heavyweight and got third place.
Okay, so if you win the heavyweight, you get to try yourself against the super heavyweights?
Well, he just chose to.
He just chose to?
He just chose to.
I didn't think he would even be a heavyweight.
Yeah, he's strong. Yes, he is. Also, check out the podcast, What's Up with our friend Bubba Seaman. On that podcast, they talk about everything with everyone. Nothing is off the table, discussing real life with real people. The good and the bad, the highs and the lows, and everything funny in between. It's interesting yet entertaining podcast with real people talking about what is up.
What is up, really?
What is up? Today's pretty positive from my half.
Yeah, I'm too. I had a lot of negative things, but I was going to, about the Jimmy Kimmel fan club and this sort of thing. But I'm just going to go another way and not be controversial.
Okay.
Be positive and uplifting.
So I won't ask you anything about that.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. I'll save that for John Klotzbach.
Sure, when he's very opinionated. Yeah. As soon as he gets his beard combed, he's going to be right over here. So.
All right. So Dale, you've got an article about baseball. Imagine that, baseball.
Yeah, well, I like baseball, but I also found this very interesting because my mother-in-law suffered from rheumatoid arthritis, and she had real bad in her hands. Her fingers would stick out different ways, this sort of thing. But it didn't kick in. She was a secretary at the Woodward State Hospital, so she was typing almost all day. This when they had typewriters, and never had any trouble till she retired. And then her fingers started getting. So she was exercising those fingers, and they were in good shape until she quit. Well, this is Matt Scherzer is potential and probably a lock Hall of Fame pitcher.
Okay,
and been in there a long time. He's 41 years old now and still pitching, but he was having a terrible time with his hands. Missed a lot of games the last few years because of problems in his hand, and his thumb was inflamed. So he would throw the ball, and his thumb would give him a lot of pain, and so. He believed his inflamed right thumb would never allow him to be an effective starter. He thought the thumb might have been the root of his strained right teres major muscle. Tears in the major muscle in 23, and his shoulder fatigue that sidelined him for 6 weeks in the second half of 24. He said, in the offseason, I tried every grip strength I could try to address, but I thought I did, but as soon as the season started in 25, it blew right back on him, so he couldn't play. So he was very well. He's an 8-time All-Star, 3-time Cy Young winner, only made one start in 2025, and then he was back on the injured list for 3 months. Okay. And so he came very, very close to calling it a career until he started playing the piano. He took lessons as a kid, but decided to brush up on his skills with a few notes, keys, and chords just to ease his mind. So I was just trying to get my kids to play the piano. I said, all right, I've got to learn a few songs to teach them now to play the piano. And when I did that, I noticed, my fingers are sore from playing the piano. And I go pitch, and I'm like, wait a minute. My thumb's better. I played a little bit more, played more with the kids, and my hand's even better. I'm like, oh my gosh, did I finally figure this out? So I chased it. I tried to play as long as I can, and my fingers are really sore in between starts. Then I get back out there, and my thumb pain was gone.
Okay.
He made 12 starts in the second half of the year, and he won that big World Series game. Remember that?
Yep.
Last year, 1-0, or it was 1-0 with in the ACLS in the World Series. It still boggles his mind that after all the strength exercises, treatment, and cortisone shots, it was the piano that kept his career alive. I mean, I had tried everything, every treatment, you name it, and that is what worked. Okay. So nowadays, he has a portable keyboard that he takes with him. So he plays in his hotel rooms, he plays on the plane, he plays in the locker room, and the manager's giving an interview to somebody, and you can hear the music coming through the wall. And so he says, I have to play the piano if I want to keep pitching, if I don't do it, my thumb issues will come right back. So he plays at least 3 or 4 times a week, an hour or 2 at a time. He doesn't know how to read music, but he's learning by watching YouTube tutorials with a blend of Guitar Hero.
Oh, cool.
I thought that's nice. So he'll play in his hotel room, hotel lobbies, the clubhouse, or even the team plane. His wife is playing the piano too, along with the kids. The Blue Jays have a catcher, Alejandro Kirk. He's on the injured list with a fractured and dislocated thumb, and he's going to give it a try himself to come back. So if not for the assistance of Amir Piano, being one of baseball's top 10 strikeout artists would never be a reality, because he's ready to get in that list for the top 10 strikeout pitchers. And so it's amazing, he said, what a piano was doing for my career. And I have a good friend, Dawn Quackenbush. I originally cut this article out to show her, because she plays piano and organ, but she's having some hand problems too, and she keeps playing the piano. She said that does her a lot of good. But he was saying playing the piano used the tips of your, but all the other exercise he was doing were the palm and the strengthening down here, but playing the piano strengthened the tips of his fingers, because that's what you use to hit the keys. And he said that's what he was pitching. The tips of his fingers is what helped him with his pitching. And so all that thumb pain has gone away. So
it's funny, because all winter long I'll ache. My shoulders are hurting me, and my back are hurting me. And the minute I start back to Milroy's, we need to get an advertisement. We need money from Milroy's. Dennis, if you're listening.
Or at least a tuxedo to wear.
That's right. That's
while we're on the air here.
But the minute I start back and I'm going up and down in trucks carrying 5-6 tuxedos at a time with shoes in and stuff, my shoulders stop hurting me. My back doesn't hurt me. Mm-hmm. My hips don't hurt me. It's an amazing thing.
Yeah. I used to get this terrible pains in my head, but then I stopped thinking so much and they just went away. And so it doesn't bother me anymore.
Well done. Well done. How are your Cubs doing, by the way?
Actually, they had a nice winning streak for a while there, and so doing pretty good. So can I say one more thing while I'm on this time?
Sure.
Okay, and then I have these all lined up. They're American history little things from the greatest stories never told.
Yes.
So I didn't pick this one. This is just the next one up. And I didn't choose it because of what happened at the ballroom for the president, the shooter coming in.
Yes.
But who was the first president to be targeted with an assassination attempt?
It would have been Andrew Jackson.
Andrew Jackson. In 1835, he became the first president to be targeted in an assassination attempt. A deranged house painter. Okay, I don't know how you get deranged, but he was a deranged house painter. I guess that's important. They put that in the article.
Yeah.
But the deranged house painter named Richard Lawrence tried to shoot him as he walked out of the Capitol. The gun misfired, and the enraged Jackson lifted his cane to strike him down. The guy had another gun. He fired it, and it misfired also. And so it says the 67-year-old president escaped unharmed. Okay, so the main gist of the article here is about Jackson and Thomas Hart Benton, very famous senator back in those days. So one of President Andrew Jackson's most trusted advisors was Missouri Senator Thomas Hart Benton. Pretty extraordinary considering that 20 years earlier, Benton and his brother had put a bullet into Jackson. Benton was an aide to then General Jackson during the War of 1812, but the two men quarreled over an obscure point of honor. Jackson was fiercely jealous of his reputation, and he'd already killed one man who had insulted him. One day in Nashville, he saw Benton and went after him with his pistol. It was Jackson, however, who ended up being shot twice and nearly killed. From that moment on, Benton knew that if he stayed in Tennessee, Jackson's friends would exact their revenge. I am in the middle of hell and see no alternative but to kill or be killed, he wrote. But he didn't find an alternative. He lit out for Missouri. That's what a lot of people do. What's the last thing I'd go to Missouri. By the time Jackson came to Washington in the 1820s, Benton had become a powerful senator from the Show Me State. Some thought Old Hickory might shoot Benton on sight, but instead he made peace and gained an ally. Together, the two men fought attempts to split the Union asunder. 20 years after the shooting, doctors finally removed the bullet. Jackson supposedly offered it to Benton, saying it was his property. Benton declined, saying that by carrying it for nearly 20 years, Jackson had earned the right to keep it.
Neat story.
In those days, if you took after the president might come right after you. That's how they did things. And Jackson, notorious for arguing and quarreling and dueling.
Yep.
He had killed people, and there was all that trouble with his wife Rachel, and people insulted her, and then he went after him. He was very much they call it a man of honor. He didn't let anybody besmirch him in any way. And so his reputation has really changed in the last several years as far, with the Trail of Tears and all the stuff that went on with that. And there's even talk of taking him off the $20 bill sometimes, but so far that hasn't happened. And so
there's a unique story about that house painter that shot him. They checked those guns, and both guns were loaded correctly. He was arrested, and they set precedent of finding him innocent because of insanity.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
Yes.
So that wasn't in my book.
Right.
See, the book is no good. Okay.
So, interesting story.
Yeah,
Thank you, Dave.
well, it kind of fit right in with what had gone on in Washington, D.C. this past week. And so I can't get over, I have to say this, I said I wouldn't, but they're interviewing Trump about the shooting and this sort of thing, and he puts in now he said, if we had our own ballroom at the White House, this wouldn't have happened. So, and Lindsey Graham said today he's going to put a bill up to get $400 million to build the ballroom. And I thought, okay, whatever happened to it? There will be no public money in this ballroom. But
okay, like that night there was the argument that it was staged.
Yeah,
is it a conspiracy deal?
Yeah, I don't think so. But if this guy gets killed in jail before he can testify, well, then, but I don't. They've never explained. They show him lying on the carpet, hands behind his back, with no shirt on, and when he ran through when they show the tape of him running through the metal detector, he appears to be clothed to me. So I don't know if they took his shirt off to check him for explosives or something, or what the deal was. But they actually show him. I'm assuming it's just his shirt that's off. You can't see the bottom half of him. But so that's the only thing I could think of, was they were really very careful about looking at him. So I don't know.
I wonder he had two knives and another gun.
Yeah, he had a shotgun. He had a long rifle and then a pistol or two and then some knives. And so, I don't. They say he was a intelligent young man. Went to college and this sort of thing. And so they don't know what happened to him to get involved in something like this. But
I would like to read his manifesto.
Mm-hmm. They say he was updating right up to the time before he left his hotel room, that all his stuff was current. And so. Yeah, I don't know. Do you call it manifesto or deranged rambling?
Now, it is. I've read. Was Unabomber? His name was Ted Bundy.
No, Ted Kaczynski.
No, Ted Kaczynski. Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy's a whole other story.
That's right. Ted Kaczynski.
I don't think Ted Bundy had a manifesto.
No, he didn't.
Kaczynski did, yeah.
Yeah, it was Ted Kaczynski, and I read his manifesto. And if you read it and you listen to many of the Republican podcasters' talking points, they are
right out of that. Huh?
They are out of that. It's rather unique.
That's kind of scary. I should say for the record that our friend over here said Kaczynski also to help you, and so
Thank you. So Ted Bundy was
a serial killer.
Yeah.
Kellogg's Post, he didn't care. He shot those boxes of cereal right off the shelf everywhere he went.
Then who was the Bundy on the
Married with Children?
Married with Children.
Yeah.
What Bundy was that?
Oh, what was it? You mean his first name?
Yeah.
I do not recall.
Al Bundy. Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
I never found the humor in that show.
Yeah, I didn't. Very seldom ever watched it.
Yeah. It was. It made a lot. It ran for a long time. The guy made a lot of money.
Yeah. All those shows that show the dad as the bumbling idiot, I never really cared for those. See, after I became the dad.
So I'm going to preview the second half of our show here, Dale. I'm going to ask you, and it's time for Mason's Top 5 of All Time, sponsored by Mickey D's Pizza and Lobster.
Okay. He's an award-winning question writer, whatever he is.
The Farrells are kind sponsors of the podcast. Include them at your wedding, graduation, or festival plans. Don't wait. Their schedule is filling up for 2026. So this is from a Broadway hit that I'm going to talk about, the second half of the show, called Every Brilliant Thing, if I can get to it.
That's the name of the show?
Yeah, the Broadway show is Every Brilliant Thing.
I'm afraid I'm not going to do very well.
It's real easy.
Oh, okay.
And Every Brilliant Thing, what they talk about is what makes the world wonderful. So like Mason's Top 5, Actually, my top 5 are this. Number 5, the happiness you feel after you've hit an approach iron just like you wanted to in golf.
Okay. So say that again.
The happiness you feel after you hit an approach iron just like you wanted to.
Sure. Okay.
Number 4, the happiness a dog has when they come to greet you after you are gone for a long time.
Yeah. Did you ever hear that? If you lock your wife and your dog in the trunk of your car and come back in 2 hours, which one will be happy to see you?
We might have to edit that, Blake. Number 3, the wonderful taste of the batter when you eat an onion ring. Oh my gosh. Yeah. The onion ring, the taste of a well-made onion ring.
Yeah. Do you like beer batter?
It's got to have a mixture of flavorings in it. It can't just be flour and egg.
Yeah.
It's got to have a lot. Yeah, ingredients.
Okay.
Number 2, the movement of your fishing line when a fish takes the lure.
Yeah. See, that is wonderful.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's just beautiful.
Yeah.
Number 1.
The
happiness on an artist's face when they sell a piece of their work.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
You know, when they realize someone likes what they've done, what they've accomplished.
Yeah.
And we're going to show
Katie,
you one.
When John and I were at Katie's showing, and we both bought a piece, her face lit up. I mean, you could just tell she felt really, really good about this thing. So I would agree with that. So.
Yeah. So that's what the show is about, and I'm going to talk about that in the second half of our show. It's a hit worldwide, a hit on Broadway, and it was on HBO.
Okay.
I don't have HBO.
I don't either.
I haven't found a friend. I'm going to have to talk to John and Blake during the break here and ask him if I can't pirate their HBO.
Or something. Yeah. So, or you could just order it and pay for it, And
I might have to do that. Okay. You know, we're here at Heartland. Maybe Heartland can help us.
Well, I would think so. So what's the name of the play again?
It's called Every Brilliant Thing.
Is it a musical or?
Well, I'm going to talk about it.
All right.
I'm going to talk about it the second half.
All right.
So this is Steve Brown Arts Center Podcast Network. We'll be right back. This is Steve Brown Arts Center Podcast Network. We're back. I'm Jim Gillespie with co-host Dale Rueber and guest co-host John Klotzbach, which will be on the third half of our show. I want to talk a little bit about a Broadway phenom that's traveled across 80 countries, and it's been on HBO. It's taken to the American people's hearts, and it's a comedy, but it's moving.
Okay.
It's called Every Brilliant Thing, written by Duncan McMillan and Johnny Donahoe, and currently starring Daniel Radcliffe through May 24th before Mariska
Hargitay.
Hargitay. Hargitay.
Okay.
Maybe I misspelled the name.
Well, she's Jane Mansfield.
Yeah,
she's
that's
Jane
his
Mansfield's daughter. Yeah.
Yeah, so you say it, yeah.
But and she was married he was a weightlifter or something.
Okay.
Yeah. But I can't remember how you say his name either. So
Very good.
I'll go with yours. So okay.
All right.
See, I know that. I just don't know.
I think it is Haggerty. I heard an interview on another podcast. I heard her interviewed. It might be Haggerty. It's spelled weird, though. You're right.
Okay.
But she takes the role May 26th, just before Labor Day.
So she's doing the Daniel Radcliffe role?
Yeah. See, it's a one-person show.
Oh, okay. You didn't say that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a one-actor show, one performer, one audience, and one long, ever-growing list of the small joys that make life worth living. The premise is simple. A man looks back on his life and the brilliant things that carried him through the shadows, moments of delight, wonder, absurdity, and grace. But simplicity is deceptive. This show is a high-wire act of being vulnerable because one of the lines is, I wrote the first ones the first time she tried it. His mother was suicidal. And he started writing a list of what was perfect on earth. And the narrator, played by Radcliffe, invites the audience into the story, not as observers, but as participants. So as the play starts, he goes up and meets them at the door. Mm-hmm. So the play starts as soon as they come in.
Yeah.
The play's supposed to start at 4. It starts at 3:30. They come in. He comes in, shakes their hand.
Sure.
Talks to them, gives them cards. Mm-hmm. finds the perfect people, giggles with them a while. Then he'll say number 1, and the person with number 1 will say the answer. Number 2, and the person. Then he'll have his school counselor is a person that plays the role of school counselor is in the audience.
Okay.
And that person, he takes extra long to find them, and they have a bigger role. And she talks about how she remembered the first time he did his list. And the magic, the audience becomes a village and helps tell the story.
Okay. I think it would be hard to write, don't you think?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, because you go lots of different ways every night.
Yeah. Every Brilliant Thing doesn't hide from heavy themes. It addresses depression, suicide, and the ache of loving someone who can't always see the light. The Broadway production even includes a content advisory for these themes, but the show refuses to drown in sorrow. Instead, it insists gently, humorously, defiantly, that joy is real and that noticing it is a radical act. The list of brilliant things becomes a lifeline. Ice cream, the color yellow. Laughing so hard you shoot milk out of your nose.
Yeah.
The smell of old books. Public library, the dog that loves you back, a song that hits at the exact right moment. Small things, ordinary things, the kind of things we forget to count. And maybe that's why the play resonates so deeply with communities like ours. Here in Iowa, where the SBAC champions local artists, storytellers, and everyday makers. Every brilliant thing feels like a mirror. It reminds us that art doesn't always need spectacle. Sometimes it just needs honesty. Sometimes it needs a room full of people willing to say, yes, that moment mattered to me too. So I've been trying to find, and that's why, Blake, we need to pirate your HBO so I can find it on HBO. All right, but
Look out, that's how they get a lot of the guys, Blake. This is the first step into crime.
And I was going to talk about another podcast that talked about crime, but I'll do that maybe when John gets in. We'll try to get into his minutes a little bit.
He knows a lot about crime. Yeah.
So anyhow, the name of that, if you can check that out and read about it, is Every Brilliant Thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I will look that up because I'm sad I'm not familiar with it at all. But Daniel Radcliffe, he's the Harry Potter kid, right?
I think so. Yeah,
all grown up. Yeah. Okay.
And it's been in 80 countries.
Okay.
And and it's not. I mean, it would be hard to do if you were the one actor, but I mean, it wouldn't be hard to produce as a group. I thought if I could get a hold of this. Yeah. It'd be fun to do around here.
Yeah, because 99% of the people you don't have to pay.
Yeah,
they pay you to be in the play.
That's right.
Just got one actor, and so
maybe Blake will look that up for us. Blake, see if we can rent Every Brilliant Thing. Will you check that out for us right now? Every Brilliant Thing is what it's called.
Now, you'll be surprised the rights are like $10 or something.
If they are, we're doing it. You were in the military.
Yes, sir.
What did they have you run? What was the farthest they had you run, and what time did you run it in?
Oh, well, the farthest they had you run, they didn't tell you how far it was. And
$4
$4 on Prime Video.
You can rent it. Oh, just
but
to watch it.
I want though.
He wants the rights to put it on.
I want the rights to put the play on. What's it cost to put the play on?
We had to run 3 miles as part of the test.
3 miles,
yeah.
Okay.
And so, but there were times you ran longer than that, but you never knew how far you ran because they just ran you until they had to take you somewhere else. And so the worst we were at Camp Pendleton at the rifle range. And so we had to run in the hills on Sunday because we didn't, the people run the rifle range, they don't work on weekends, of course. So we're out. So he takes us for a run in the afternoon, and we're up and down the hills, rocky roads, and this sort of thing. So we come out of the camp and then run out through the wilderness, around and around and around and around and around and around. We get back to where we started, and we can see our barracks over there. What we got to do is turn right, and there's the barracks. But he has us turn left. And we say, we're going to go again. And so the guy started grumbling a little bit, which is a real no-no. I said, no, you don't do that. But they did, enrage the drill instructor. So he thought, well, if we didn't want to run, maybe we'd like to crawl a little bit. So we had to crawl up some of the hills, and not just on your hand, but a low crawl. and then get up and run the whole route again. So I have no idea how many miles that it was a ways, and I don't know how long it was because we weren't allowed to have a watch.
Yeah.
So it just but that was probably the longest run we took.
And was that in your boots?
Yeah, boots, full gear. We didn't have the helmet or the pack or the rifle, but everything was in boots. Yeah.
They changed that a number of years ago where they run in tennies now, don't they?
I have no idea, but we ran in boots.
Yeah.
And when we ran the other, we had to you would wear like a 10-pound helmet, you had to carry a 10-pound rifle, you wore boots and full clothing. And I know in the old Corps, they used to have 2 canteens full of water on their belt and a rifle to carry and a helmet. And we didn't have the water to carry, which was nice. But then we were thirsty all the time too. But yeah, so but the 3-mile run was standard.
Okay.
And we ran that as a platoon in step. He called cadence. And that platoon commander, he could run backwards watching us at 3 miles and count the cadence for us. I mean, amazing. But we ran it all in step.
So the reason I ask you this is this past Sunday in London,
okay,
2 guys ran sub 2-hour marathons for the first time ever.
Okay.
Legal sub 2-hour.
These weren't the robots, were they?
No, they were
human beings ran under 2 hours. And what's like
26 miles, 300.
Yeah, for clarity, like what's the record for the Boston Marathon or something?
It is 2:04
2 hours
or something
okay,
like
so
that.
It's close.
Yeah.
Okay. These guys went under 2. Okay.
I mean, there had been one guy that had ran under 2 hours before, but it was an unofficial course.
Yeah.
And not accepted.
Okay.
So these 2 men ran official sub 2-hour marathons in London in this week. Sebastian Saway of Kenya, Yamif Kajelka of Ethiopia were their names. Sebastian Saway, a Kenyan marathoner, became the first person to do it. Saway and it's so unique in Kenya. A lot of people don't know how old they are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they figure somewhere between 29 and 31 years old.
Okay. Have they ever done a study or anything about how come those people can do so well in long distance running, or that you know of? Or
it is a mixture of the altitude and the air.
Okay.
Kajika was from Ethiopia, and it was his first marathon ever. And he ran 11 seconds slower than Kauai.
Okay.
And Kajika was running, so they both ran, it's called negative halves. The first half of the marathon was an hour, and the second half was 59 plus.
Yeah.
It was faster. The second half was faster.
Yeah.
There was a man from Uganda, finished 3rd, and he also beat the previous. Now, Nike for years has been trying to do this. These guys, the winner and the second place guy, were wearing Adidas.
Okay.
Adidas Adios is what the shoe's called. If you and I want to buy it and run as fast as these guys.
I'm sure it's just the shoes, right?
It is. It's $500 a pair of shoes is all it is. They're real light shoes, so probably not real good for your and my body.
Yeah, for old men. So
Saway ran 1:59:30, the fastest official marathon ever recorded. Kajika was 1:59:41. This was the first time in history that 2 runners broke 2 hours. Saway broke the previous world record by 65 seconds. And I saw videos of this guy at my best time in my life. I couldn't have sprinted what he was running. Back in 2023, a guy by the name of Kelvin Kiptum held the mark that he broke. As I said, both men ran negative splits. The race took place April 26th. Saway had previously won the London Marathon last year, making it a second win in a row. And this was Kajika's debut. The previous unofficial sub-2 run was Eliud Kipchoge, another Ethiopian, 1:59:40, but it was not eligible for record status. So
these guys have sponsors, or
they
somehow they have to get from Ethiopia to wherever they're running these races and everything.
They're paying pretty well. That the top ones, I remember when I looked at when I was running a lot, down in what they call it, the dam to dam, down.
Sure.
They were paying those guys. They were paying some of the better guys in the world to come to the race for $10,000.
Yeah.
Just to come. So if they were getting $10,000 and they were racing 30 races a year, they were doing well.
Yeah, and this was many years ago.
Yeah.
So it'd be a lot more now. And
Yeah.
and you think Adidas will sign them up or make some commercials? Or?
Well, I'm sure they were working for Adidas.
Oh, you think so? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But here's the other thing. Nike, when they tried to break it, was using like lasers and everything for the perfect angles on the race. So you turn this corner, you go there.
Oh, I see.
You go there.
Yeah.
Adidas didn't do that.
Yeah.
Adidas just gave them the shoes and said, go out and run your best race.
Yeah.
Now, I've read some neat things about these shoes. These shoes are the spring in the shoes that makes you go faster. I'm looking forward to you and I running together.
I think my running days are over. I had a friend, his little brother, he was going to run so fast he had PF pliers.
Yeah.
Because the PF flyers were the big shoe. He had these PF pliers. He was going to run real fast. And so I don't think they even make those anymore, do they? But
No.
there was something.
I ran 2 marathons. They were never sponsored on my own. So I don't know if they're.
Yeah.
One was with Syndrome, and we did it 3:51. It was for cancer.
Yeah. That's a pretty good time, I would say.
Yeah. And then the next one I did on my own. The kids were decorating for homecoming, and I wasn't going to sit there and watch them decorate. So I ran in school for the day, and I did it in 3:41. The kids were happy because they got to decorate for 4 hours, basically.
Yeah.
So, but this is Steve Brown Arts Center Podcast Network, and we've got a special guest host right after this word. We'll be right back. The Steve Brown Arts Center Podcast Network, and we're back for the third half of our show. We brought a math wizard in to question our three halves, John Klotzbach. Thanks for coming in, John.
Thanks for inviting me. Always appreciate it.
You have a number of neat things for us, including news about the election. You have news about the upcoming 250-year celebration. So we'll let you get to it.
All right, well, the first thing I want to share is going back to the art show down at M's. I brought a show and tell.
Okay.
This is from Katie Balvins, who just finished up the April and was Artist of the Month, and just really appreciated all the art she shared on the walls down there at M's and Independence. And then coming up will be Mandy Betts. She'll be featured in May and setting up, it should be up for May. And she's the artist, has been doing the windows and the door down at M's for a few months. And then her art's kind of spread down the block a few places too. So it's really just very creative, and just her talent is just amazing how she can do that. And then what they do, she covers it with some kind of, I don't know, gelatin or whatever they use. And then so it can weather resistant. And then when it comes time to remove it for the next month, they just take a big paint scraper and just
comes right off.
And it peels right off. It's just amazing. So we had a lot of fun.
Yeah. Now, I feel bad because I think in our artist collaboration meeting, there was an artist sitting back in there doing art.
Really?
Yeah.
While you were sitting there?
While we were sitting there in our little circle talking.
Yeah, a little coffee group.
Yeah. I looked back. It looked like Mandy, and I wonder if she didn't come to join us. She's so shy.
The way I was sitting, I was facing the window and had my back, or I was around the corner. I missed it.
And I need to apologize to her if it was, but she's so shy, and she probably didn't feel comfortable.
Mandy's not shy. It probably wasn't Mandy. It probably wasn't Mandy then. Was she working on a computer?
No, she was drawing. She had a bunch of papers drawn. I've seen her drawing M's before.
Okay.
And I'm almost sure it was Mandy. I feel so bad. I'm going to text her. After you mentioned it, I thought I had her on the phone. I'm going to text her one.
Well, we got to switch. I got to get Katie's info to see if she's interested in doing more art in Independence. Maybe that Bremer Park where they have the poster up.
Yeah.
Bremer Park, for those who are new to Independence, is right across the river from the big mill.
I actually knew Frank Bremer. So.
Oh, there you go.
Yes,
Very good.
You're old.
Well, I'm not disputing that either. So
We need to name a park here. for
Bremer
the
Park,
deal.
the water tower, then forget it. So
I heard they're going to put your face on the stamp, but people were spitting on the wrong side. So.
Wow.
he can be really vicious.
This is-
Can't
I
he?
just used that line just recently.
Yeah, I know.
I love a good old joke.
I was really old because all the stamps now you don't have to lick them anymore. They just self-stick.
Well, see, that's what I mean.
Yeah. So
250th is coming up.
Yes, it is.
Celebration of the Declaration of Independence. I know our good friend Joe Olson's trying to get the Declaration again. You know where the big mill is. Across the street south is Liberty Park with kind of a small looking building that looks kind of like the mill.
Okay.
And the back of that, they have a display case back from 2007 when it was put in that has the Declaration of Independence, but the plexiglass has gotten so bad and cloudy you can't read it. So he's working on trying to get that cleaned up, or maybe putting the Declaration in a bigger font, or just something to be more eye appealing for that. you
sure.
know. It's the year to do it.
Does he have a group that's helping him, like with fundraising and stuff, or how they? Is it
There's Joe.
and Joe?
And yeah. He's always looking for help. But Joe's got a lot of fingers in a lot of pies, and he's always looking for.
Is he going to get the lights up in the
That was
dam?
something I got to write up that story. I can switch gears.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
I have a flyer that was just handed out, or it's available from the Community Foundation, and it's got an official Light the Dam fund. they didn't go for the dam lighting fund.
I know.
So they had to switch that. Kind of sponsored by Laces as well. And I believe that the top dollar altogether has been $40,000. And they've already got Inditel, the Independence Light and Power.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to kick in some labor. They can't kick in all the mechanics behind it.
Sure.
And that's going to be a chunk of change.
Yeah.
But they're also working with Musco Lighting.
Yeah.
If I got that. Yeah. They did a lot of sports line and stuff.
Sure.
They're working with them on design, and they can do like LEDs instead of your light bulbs. So it's a lot.
Oh, yeah.
They can do a lot more with that. So that's something he'd like to get wrapped up, but it's slow going. And again, they're trying. I got to write something for the paper to get that word out. Oh, look, I'm getting the word out.
Yeah.
And then. But there'll be some more fundraising. And it's
Okay.
tough with Rueber now too, because they'll be doing fundraising that
Yeah.
along with your other community fundraisers all going together.
Good thing Independence is Iowa House of Millionaires, as I've heard that.
We are very fortunate. We're fortunate. I would take the fundraising money and just invest in ladder tickets, but that's why I'm not on that committee. 250 years ago. Key events from 1976. May 2nd, France and Spain agreed to supply weapons to the American rebels. May 4th, Rhode Island became the first colony to formally renounce allegiance to King George III. You're good on Rhode Island. You always think of Delaware being the first state, but Rhode Island got in there really early. And then the Second Continental Congress was busy at work. The Virginia Convention instructed its delegates in Philadelphia to move for a Declaration of Independence. On the same day, Congress approved a crucial, harsh preamble proposed by John Adams, effectively aiming to end all Crown authority. And May 17th of 1776, the Continental Congress designated a national day of fasting, prayer, and humiliation. That must be an older term for being humbleness or something in that regard. So, and then late May, discussions on forming an alliance with foreign powers and the continued military preparation for a British attack on New York proceeded as momentum for a final break with Britain became inevitable.
Okay.
And that's
because
from
the Army
Google.
was already in the field, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They'd started in 75 or so. And so.
Yeah. So this is 76 when. So things are rocking and rolling.
Sure.
Other things, just housekeeping. I mentioned last time I was on about the Roy Barons, the guy from Independence, who most recently was a former art professor up at UNI, and now he's doing online classes, I think he said for Drake and some other college. And he talked about camouflage and talked about other books he was in, and gave a really nice program down in North English, an hour and a half down here. So I had a nice time getting out of the county.
Well, yeah.
And so it was kind of fun. And he talked about not only the military stuff that was from World War I and all the islands that were involved, including Grant Wood, and even into World War II. With the military side of it, but he was always interested. He started out a picture of his cat who had passed away, a striped cat, and talking about its camouflage and such. So it was, how animals like the walking stick. There was a moth in Britain, was a spotted moth And over time, there were a couple different flavors of that, like a black one and a white one. But the soot and pollution built up, whereas the black one survived because it was more camouflaged against all the soot, and the white one kind of went to the side.
Yeah.
So it was just interesting, you know. Whereas Darwin talks about evolution of animals and the species taking hundreds of years, if not thousands.
Yeah.
And here's something where a moth just over a few, tens of scores of years.
I used that as a lesson once in school, as a science class at school with elementary kids. And then we made our
That
own.
particular moth? Or?
Yeah, that moth, the black, the white ones were all eaten up and the black ones survived. Then I gave them little moths and they colored them different colors and put them around the room. And then we had the kindergarten kids come up and try to find them. And it worked out really well. So, and a lot of them, they could not see, and they did a nice job with it. So I knew that story about the moths. So
I'm not lying.
Yeah.
You know.
I guess it was infantry training. They had us sitting in bleachers, and they had a guy standing there. He had a helmet on and utilities, and then they took one of these camouflage nettings and put over him. He ducked down behind a bush. You could see. I mean, that was our lesson on camouflage. But it was unbelievable how you can hide yourself if you have the right camouflage that fits in with the terrain that you're in. And so,
well, that always amazes me too when you talk about the difference between jungle camouflage versus desert storm, and how tan those uniforms were, and how tan the tanks were and things.
Yeah. Well, the helmets, the helmet covers, they were green on one side and brown on the other. The brown you can't spot it, but you could. So depending on where they were sending you, you just change that, and so.
Oh, the covers were reversible. Okay.
Yeah, the covers.
The way you first said that, I thought the front was green.
No,
and the back
it's
was
like a helmet. They have this cloth cover that goes over them, and one side is brown camouflage, and the other side is green camouflage. So they were good for wherever you went. So.
Did they have an orange one so you didn't get shot by deer hunters?
So Dale, what did you get to keep from the military?
Just my sacred honor. So
your honor. You were not allowed that, like the cloth cover over your helmet.
Anything I paid for was mine, but everything else is issued to you, and you sign for it, and then they like it back. And so,
including your rifle.
Well, yeah, everything. Yeah. They don't let you. These people that have, they showed me. Well, I brought this home from Korea. Well, they had to talk to. They said some people will try to bring souvenirs home. They said they have a live mortar round in their sea bag, trying to get it through the airport and take it home to show Mama. And they said, "Don't do that." So people are crazy with souvenirs and stuff. But no, just the stuff that you pay. You pay for your uniforms, issue, and so.
Forgive me for it.
No. It's just that's what I like coming to these things. It's just so organic and just the conversation flows. On that art thing, going back to the art collab, it's like myself. I don't claim to be an artist, but just to hear people's stories and what they're learning. Their painting techniques to even Supervisor Keith Whelan was there and to talk about a little bit about his artistic talent is singing, which I've heard a little bit about.
Sure.
And so he's talking a little bit about that. And then Tony Newton afterwards talked about he's trying to write a screenplay and all the ins and outs that go with that and paid particular attention. It's a lot different than just writing a novel. You have a script. It's like you have to really set up screens or scenes and things like that. So it's open to everybody.
I understand. And I like when I'm able to come. It's very enjoyable to hear the artists talk about what inspired them to do this way or that way or whatever, and they learn from each other. Because I know some will say, I can't draw this, and well, here you just try this, and so. Yeah, I find it very interesting, even though I'm not very artistic myself.
It's good for retired people in the late morning, but if there's one thing I've learned from Jim, is there's a ton of artists out there of all ages and sizes and different.
Sure, yeah. I said one of the major things the Art Center has done is gotten all those artists out, and they know each other now, and Jim kind of gives them activities and places to show their art, and so it's been a huge had a huge effect on the artists in this area, I think. So
I hope so. I hope so. And now an official Mason Fox list that I got from Mason just this afternoon when I was writing up my notes. This is straight from the fox's mouth.
And I know Mason watches, so
all right.
Okay.
This is his hat list.
All right, there you go.
Top 10 Amish straw hat.
Okay, I have one of those.
There you go.
All right.
There you go. His fedora, very classy. Yeah. His Cubs baseball cap, followed closely by his Brewers ball cap.
Okay.
Number 5 is his black cowboy hat. Number 6, his pineapple bucket hat, which he had today. It's a bucket hat with pineapples on it.
Oh, okay.
It's a pineapple motif.
All right.
So it's not made of a pineapple. It's
Yeah,
not a big one
I
pineapple.
I understand. You know.
Bucket help. Draw me a picture here. Bucket help.
Did you ever see Caddyshack?
Yeah.
And what the judge was wearing in the coffee shop where Rodney Dangerfield's, oh, that's a nice hat. What do you get, a bowl of soup in
Oh,
there?
yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so
Okay.
There's a brim around it, and
Yeah, okay.
I didn't know it was called that till just recently.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a bucket.
We call it
And-
booty
but,
hat.
But this has a pineapple
Yes,
motif.
which makes it much more. Yeah.
What he calls his British hat. It's like a baseball cap they got from a friend with a long bill, and it's got a Union Jack flag on it.
Oh, okay.
So from Britain. His ISU stocking cap, a little bit changing seasons there. His Brew Crew cap for work. You see him wearing it down in his coffee shop. And finally, his golf hat, which he didn't really describe as just his golf hat.
Okay.
So that's an official Mason Fox
That
list.
is an official. Now, we'll have to make sure that Mason watches this.
There you go. The other thing, when we talked a little bit about politics, I came across a friend of mine sent me through Facebook, which is a terrible thing to do with messaging me because I rarely check my personal Facebook. But, it popped up, and it has a guy named Lucas Bean, and this was on. She sent it through Facebook, but it's probably been on YouTube and X and a few places. He said he's been wondering for years how people can argue against facts, logic, and science the way they do, and. He said, here are 5 tricks people use. I'll just go through. 1, the straw man. You point out that Trump started a war with Iran without going through Congress. Your friend responds to say, you hate America and want to see it destroyed. So it's like, you never said that, but now you're defending your patriotism instead of talking about the war.
Sure.
Your original point is completely forgotten. What about ism? You bring up Trump firing his attorney general. They say, well, what about Hillary's emails? You mentioned the Iran war started without Congress. They say, well, what about Biden?
Yeah.
And so they never answer a single question because they know they can't answer it.
Yeah.
This is what he refers to as aboutism.
Okay.
What aboutism? The next one. Oh, and then what aboutism is not a defense. It's a weak person's confession that they have no argument. Keep that in mind. Number 3, ad hominem attack. You say Trump is breaking the law. They say you have Trump derangement syndrome and you hate America. So again, it just doesn't address what you're talking about. It moves the goal is to destroy your credibility before your argument even gets evaluated. The slippery slope fallacy. You say the government should not be able to deport American citizens without due process. They say you want to let criminals pour into the country. You said nothing about criminals, but now everyone is arguing about something you never brought up. This is called the slippery slope. They're just creating fear. There's no evidence, no logic. They want to scare people enough, and they stop. If you scare people enough, they'll stop thinking. And people who stop thinking are easy to control. And 5, the last one, burden of proof flip. And this is something he referred to as the Charlie Kirk built his entire career on this. He would show up to college campuses, make wild claims with no evidence, and demand that students disprove him on the spots. When students couldn't disprove him, Kirk declared victory and forced the student to give up the microphone. And this is why you could never win that argument. You show them a court ruling, they claim the judge is corrupt. You show them a study, the science is corrupt. You show them a news report, and the outlet is fake news. Every piece of evidence you bring just gets added to the conspiracy. There's no evidence they will accept because accepting evidence was never part of the deal. In a real debate, the person making the claim has to provide evidence.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I always thought that was kind of an interesting, helpful tips.
And
Briefly,
who compiled
podcast.
the list?
A guy named Lucas Bean.
Okay.
I don't know his.
Yeah.
But also in politics, the supervisor forum coming up by the Independence Bulletin Journal. I'm helping with Eilish the McCardle. She's the editor. For May 20th, that's a Wednesday. Doors open. We're thinking 6 o'clock. Start about 7. Give time for audience to get there to write out questions.
And
Where will that be
Where's it
again?
at?
And at the Independence Junior Senior High School auditorium. Thank you.
Okay.
Next line. I probably should have.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
So, audience can submit questions that night. We'll have pens and little note cards. If they write legibly, we can read it and use good words, not bad words.
Oh.
And Eilish,
Legible writing and bad words. I'm a goner, so.
yeah. And I don't mean to ban things or
Yeah, I understand. Yes.
Eilish, you can email her ahead of time at editor@bulletinjournal.com and reference the supervisor forum. All 4 candidates have been invited: Republicans John Kurtz, John Lynch, Dawn Vogel, and Democrat Rick Wolfkuhl. And we're waiting to hear back from all 4.
Okay.
but we've had a few responding positive. Then your primary election is coming up June 2nd, and absentee voting at the courthouse begins May 13th. So absentee voting started the 13th, but this forum's not going to be till the 20th.
Yeah.
But
So don't vote early.
again, be careful.
If you don't know what you're doing, wait. Yeah. Okay.
Absentee ballots can be requested now to be mailed out from the auditor's office, but you have to get it to the auditor's office by May 18th. And then my last little thing is RAGBRAI. Be sure to check out Indie RAGBRAI on Facebook. They're looking for housing now, and RAGBRAI will be in Independence and coming through Jesup and stopping Independence on Thursday, July 23rd. Riders placed with hosts are registered through RAGBRAI, which also provides insurance coverage for hosts. So keep that in mind.
Well, yeah, that'd be important, I would think. Yeah.
So you don't want just people showing up on your front lawn, because if something happens, it'll be the homeowner directly. For more information on this, or to get the housing form, you can check on Facebook, the Indie RAGBRAI Facebook, or email housing@independenceragbrai.com. And volunteers need all sorts, no matter what your talents are, your mobility, or the times, morning, noon, night, the next day, late night. They need that help.
Yeah.
So I rambled through that pretty quick, but I just wanted to touch base on all that.
Now, you're working on having some artists working or not working, but not performing either, but demonstrating, I guess.
It's a plein air, and a lot of people don't understand what the plein air is. A plein air is where an artist comes, sits wherever they want, and the sponsor doesn't say you have to sit here. I mean, they give them, they got to say within a few miles. They sit wherever they want and paint whatever they want. Right now, I'm having a misunderstanding with one of the committees, because they think this is an event, and I guess it is a plein air event. But what they do is they come, they bring the thing they're going to paint, the canvas, if it's canvas. I scribble my name on the back of it so that it's legal, and they go off wherever they're going to go. And then we're going to give them 2 hours to sell it at the end. The only thing that we're asking, the City Brown Arts Center was going to pay an entry fee for each person of $20.
Each person, not just as a organization charge, but each artist.
Each artist, but we'll get 6 to 10. We won't give there won't be 200 show up.
Yeah. But still, it's
But another organization said they would pay for it. So I put that in our propaganda and put that on the internet, as I was told to do by the RAGBRAI people. Well, I must have done something wrong, because I've been summoned to a meeting.
You've been called on the carpet.
Yeah, I've been called on the carpet. I'm not if you listen to last week's, you'll find that I'm not a lover of bureaucracy.
Yeah.
And so
gets in the way.
Yeah, yes, it does. And
I listened.
Yeah, thank you for listening. And so I need to go in and find out what I did wrong so I can correct it. And there's not much to this. It's not much of an event to answer your question.
And it's not really, because I would think just as a private citizen, they could set up someplace and paint, and anybody, I would feel comfortable. So I'm just going to go down there and find a scene and set up my easel on, public property, no trespass or anything, and I'm just going to paint.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd have to pay anybody anything. But if you want to be part of the committee and part of the brochure or whatever, are they putting something out? Or
well, see, and you were at the meeting for Jesup RAGBRAI.
Yeah.
You know how RAGBRAI expect money.
Sure.
So I understand. I want to, that there are people in Independence that are working diligently for this. 20,000 people are coming to Independence on the 23rd of July. They don't want to mess it up.
Yeah.
To their credit, they don't want to appear like they're trying to steal from anybody. And that's
Well,
not
you want
my
to be fair to
intention.
all vendors.
Yeah.
Well, sure.
No matter what
Yeah.
what means.
So I understand. I don't think they understand what we're
you're trying to do.
Yeah, what we're trying
Yeah.
to do. Once they understand what we're trying to do, they'll be fine.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm sure you'll explain it eloquently.
I'll try. I'll try.
All right, last week, I don't know who you were talking about. You said, I don't think that person likes me very much. So I hope it's somebody else you get to talk to. So,
But forgive me, we took your time away there, John. Anything else that you had?
No. I like the kibitz and
yeah.
you know,
All right.
keep you on the straight and narrow. What's on your?
What we have left for the
Well, I have a couple things here.
the month. Go ahead.
Okay,
Let's
just
tie this up.
if you're interested in boys and girls golf at Jesup, next week on the 4th and the 8th, both of them are playing golf. One's at, they're both at Denver on the 4th of May at the Willow Run Country Club, which that sounds like a nice place. Yeah. And then on the 8th, they're at the SBAC Classic at the Town and Country Golf Club. The girls are, and the boys on the 7th are at the NICL Conference at Pheasant Ridge Golf Course. And so the golf season's winding down. And the girls on the 11th are at the NICL conference at the Irv Warren Memorial Golf Course. That's in Waterloo, right?
Yes.
Irv Warren, okay.
Yep.
Track meets coming. Track is almost done. On the 4th, the girls are at Appling and Parkersburg. Then on the 7th, you have the NICL conference at East Marshall. And then on the 11th, they're running at Denver. And on the 21st, they have Girls State.
It's coming.
Coming right up.
Yeah.
So. And the boys, about the same kind of schedule. On the 4th of May, they're at Independence. At the 7th, they're at that NICL conference at East Marshall. On the 11th, they're at Appling Parkersburg. And on the 21st, again, they have Boys State. And so that's coming up. And so there's a couple of neat things at the library, and I want to get in because they're coming right away. On May the 5th, they're having a SPA trio workshop. And in this class, we'll make a jar of sugar scrub, 1 bottle of lip gloss, and 1 bottle of linen/body spray. All items are customizable with scents, flavors, and colors. You must pre-register, and it's $30 per person, so you must get some pretty nice things out of this. And so call the library if you have any questions about this. Here, you are not broken, what every woman should know after 35.
Oh, teach me.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the guy to talk to.
Is this a menopause thing?
In this community talk, holistic fitness and menopause wellness coach Danielle Cushing will walk through what's actually happening in your body during middle and how to work with it instead of against it. This is for any woman who wants answers, clarity, and a path forward that actually makes sense. Bring a friend. I heard a lady, she has written a book about menopause. She's a doctor, but you know about how you have these regular things. You know, a little egg comes popping out, goes down the tubes, and month after month after month. And you get to be a certain age, in your brain, it's like somebody took a handful of spaghetti and threw it against the wall. That's what happens when you start running low on eggs. She said it just goes crazy, and you just got to live through that for X number of years before it all settles down again. And you have the best time of your life after that. That analogy of the handful of spaghetti thrown against the wall, I've known women like that, I guess. So it's crazy.
Are you naming names?
I certainly am not.
Okay.
He thinks I'm crazy, doesn't he? Okay. Use glass. And I'm not sure what it says. Using marina shapes and pre-cut glass, you'll be guided on how to make your own decorative glass picture and create one from the idea shared in class or the idea of your own. Need to pre-register. It'd be $30 for equipment and that sort of thing. And again, get a hold of the library. This is May the 12th, so it's coming right up. Book clubs this month on May the 4th at Cougar's Den, 6:30 in the evening. You probably should
Just
get
had
out
their
there.
burger.
Yeah. Join us for some lively discussion on this month's title, Funny Story by Emily Henry. And I'm not familiar with that book at all. And then the Chapter Chat book, and it's nice they're going to the Green Rose Cafe for that one.
Cool.
So they're using these businesses. That's nice. And this month's title is The Many Lives of Mama Love by Laura Love Hardin. And so you can get your copies of both these books at the library. So support the public library. City's got their cleanup day, Saturday, May the 9th. You can bring all your stuff from 8 to 12 down to the 10th Street City Shop. So that's coming up. And I heard someone say they saw on Facebook that the Dairy Cone has been purchased and that the person is going to open it up eventually. I don't know how much they'll have to do to it, but they said Ron Rogers, who sold insurance, he's an American Family Insurance agent, my neighbor for many years, gotten into this business. So I did not know that. He has an ice cream truck also where he
Interesting.
goes to, because this park down there across the street, and it's got a cute little penguin in the window.
So he's living back in town again.
I have no idea. And the person that told me about it said they didn't know either, because I know he had moved to Colorado after he retired. But he does have grandkids in this area and this sort of thing, so maybe he's come back. Anyway, hopefully that'll work out, because there was a day, like in the spring, that first nice sunny day, and think, we should go get an ice cream cone, and then wasn't there, and so.
Well, there's a good when he opens up, a good place for the podcast.
Down there,
right.
because there's room down there, so yeah. So we have to be nice to him then, so he'll let us in. Okay.
Yeah.
If he sells the same tenderloins they've always sold, I will be glad to.
We need to go down to Cougars. Joe's invited us to Joe's in Independence.
Yeah.
So, and Joe always fills us with pizza.
So we must not be doing too bad if people are actually inviting us into their establishments. Why?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So anyway, I wanted to get those in so that they're coming up, and so.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
And it reminds me with Independence in the May schedule, pick that up, all sorts of fun things. STEM Adventures Stay and Play Dance Party for Kids. That'd be May 14th in the morning, late morning. I always want to say DIY. Journal Workshop, registration required is our favorite thing. That's at the end of May 26th. And you can make your one-of-a-kind mini journal, and a lot of other book clubs and things going on there. Our friends at Gedney Bakery, Silent Book Club. And then the other thing, I don't know why I didn't think of this, but we're talking about M's. There's a snippet on Iowa PBS right now that they filmed in M's back in February, talking about M's coffee shop and how they brought it it's like a 5-minute piece. So it's really over. What do I want to say? Just very brief description.
Yeah. And what program?
Overview. It's Iowa PBS, and it's May 11th on Iowa Life.
Okay. Iowa Life on May 11th.
Okay. But you can go up to the Iowa PBS website now and watch the clip.
Okay.
And hear locals talk about the coffee and M and how M's family worked together to bring that shop about.
Okay.
Well, Blake is sitting over there going like this, but I want to ask you.
Is that a threat? Is that an assassination threat?
He has an awful big knife. Okay.
86, 40,
47?
Whatever.
Yeah.
I got to ask this question. By the way, that's not a threat.
Yeah.
I don't want the FBI appearing at my door.
There's a term though that we used in the middle. It was 86. That meaning knocked out. Yeah, you heard it before. Yeah. So
restaurants.
Yeah,
that's right.
So I was familiar with that term.
But you mentioned journal. Do you journal?
No. I used a bulletin journal.
I understand that. Do you journal?
No, I don't. I don't have the discipline for it. I just never have been able to.
I don't want a record. I just don't want a record on my life.
Well, and that's a funny thing, because all these years that the royals have been in power in England, none of them have ever journaled either. They don't want a record.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Well, thank you, John. Thank you, Dale.
Thank you.
Linda Schmidt's at the community room of the Jesup Public Library to show her art starting this week. And as John said, Mandy Betts is at M's this coming month. Nick Thomas is at Gedney's. And we've got permission by Nick to hang his paintings on barns in Buchanan County.
Oh.
So myself and another fellow are going to start going to certain farmers and getting permission to hang pieces on their barn.
Mm-hmm.
Permission? Oh, you're not just going to go in the middle of the night and start hanging them up?
Sometimes it's
see if they
easier.
notice.
How's the saying go? Sometimes it's easier to ask forgiveness than permission.
Get permission.
But we will ask permission.
No, a lot of those farmers have shotguns. I would get permission. Yes.
Okay. Don't forget the 24-hour Mustang camera sponsored by Joe's Pizza in Independence and the 24-hour Hawk camera in Manchester. Don't forget the Little Free Art House that's located outside close to the administrative building in Independence Schools in Independence. If you'd like to donate to the Steve Brown Arts Center or have an idea for an event, go to the SteveBrownArtsCenter.org and follow the link. If you would like to put on that play, like to star in that play, we're looking for an actor, just one. or actress. A woman can do that too.
That's right. Yeah.
And audience members.
Yeah,
audience.
a lot of audience.
If you have news, would like to sponsor us, email us at jim@stevebrownartscenter.org or call 319-290-0241. Say that number.
319-290-3141.
0241. 319-290-0241. We're going to confuse the
That
audience.
wasn't too bad.
No, not bad. And leave a message.
Okay.
I'm Jim Gillespie with Dale Rueber and guest John Klotzbach, producer Blake Tempus, who's searching for mother's cooking down there.
That's why that old finger across the throat thing.
Yeah.
His mother has dinner ready for him.
Mother's Day coming up. Start planning.
Our thanks, as always, to Kelly C. Haas and Heartland Business and Events Center for allowing us to use their podcast equipment and studio. Thanks to the audience for bringing these stray dogs into your life. Remember, each day is about little victories.
Right.